Welcome to the Museum Roadshow. Today we're going to be talking to Dave Kaldahl about his memories of the old ski jump that was in Detroit Lakes.
I knew very little about it because it was being built when I was just a little kid. My dad came here in 1926, started directing the band here, but he'd been a ski jumper in Glenwood, Minnesota, starting at about age 10 or so. They had one little jump and one big jump. So that if you're 10 years old, you're brave enough to go off these little jumps. And then when he came here in 1926, he never lost that ski jumping urge. And in 1932, he kind of organized a group that got a small ski jump built on the hill on Lake Melissa. So they'd end up going down the hill and then onto the flat of Lake Melissa. And the location of that was right across from McLaughlin Marina. I think it's probably just a jump made of snow. And the amazing thing is that he got several hundred cars out on the lake to watch this jump. And it must have been not much to do in those middle years of 1932, 1934, because there's hundreds of people came out to watch this. Well, they didn't have television, and they didn't have NFL football and things to watch on Sundays, so they came out to watch the ski jump. And it said in this article I found that he jumped 80 feet, which isn't very far then. But then he got people in town interested in making a true ski jump. And it was quite a full-scale ski jump. And the first jump then he got his brother, who was still jumping. Chester Kaldahl, my dad, was a boy champion in about 1916. They called it the North American Boy Champion. And then the next year, his younger brother, Oliver, took the title away from him, and he held it for 3 years. So there's, in my family, my dad and my uncle, they had a total of 4 boy champion of North America ski jumping championships. When they finished building this big ski jump going down, ending up on Lake Melissa, one of the features of the jump was my dad and his brother went down together, and that was a real novelty. And I read something in here about Otto Zeck said that it was the twin jump with Oliver and Chet Kaldahl was sensational. The two skiers went down the slide at the same time and both leaped into the air simultaneously. Total expenses for the tournament was less than $20. It was paid by the School Activity Fund and the American Legion. So that was in 1934. My uncle went 118 feet. I remember it. I can't read it now. But the guy that won it, he came in second, 119 and 116 feet. And then the man that won it was Sverre Fridheim, representing the Norwegian American Ski Club of St. Paul. And he won jumping 128 and 132 feet. And then after the meet was over, he climbed up again and jumped 143. And quoting from this, "It was the general opinion that the slide, the jump, and the landing was one of the best in Minnesota at that time." So the only person that I knew that he got some young kids interested in jumping with him, and kids at the time now, but Bob Smalley has told me that he helped build the jump. That's the only one that ever talked to me about it. And Cal Greenlaw was there, and Henry Chadburn. These are some of the old names. Roy Sauer. That's about the only. John Sealander. That's about the only names I recognize. And I don't think any of them are with us yet, except maybe Bob Smalley. they had a circuit of going around all the small towns. The only ones I remember now is Duluth, but there were other towns that had ski jumps. They'd have a meet, it was always on a Sunday afternoon. And so they'd travel around, and I remember my Uncle Tootie, Oliver Tootie, in Glenwood, they'd come up by a train, and he'd fill his house and his neighbors' houses with ski jumpers, and so it was a big social thing too, because they all knew each other, for they jumped the same hills all around Minnesota and out into South Dakota too, I believe. On this picture, there's just little steps cut into the side of the hill. I don't think there's certainly no ski lift pulling them up. And I have when I was 18, 19 years old, and we went down to the Glenwood hill, and I climbed up walked up the hill, and then I climbed up the ski jump. And you get up to the top of one of those ski jumps, and they're all made of wood and kind of rickety looking. And that's a scary thing when you're way up there like that. And then you look down and you see that you're going to go, they start up by just about going straight down, and then it levels out. And it's, you got to be a kid to start doing it, and fearless. Because when you're even 19 years old, it's scary. To strap on skis and go down those things. And they had the ones that I've seen in my uncle's garage. I never saw any that Chester had. Were big, heavy hickory skis, long skis, 7.5, 8 feet long and wide. So just even to carry up the top of that hill is quite a challenge. So that's the story of the jump, and how long the ski jump went on before it probably rotted up or was torn down or whatever. I have no idea. So I learned more about my dad and his ski jumping just from this article than I'd ever known. He never talked about it? No, he never talked about it much. He'd drive by as we were driving into town on Highway 59. He says, "That's where the ski jump used to be up there."
It was awesome. I never saw such a thing like that. It was just something that unbelievable. And they were just, I can't how to describe it, but it was really something to see. But they would come off that, they would come out there with their hands out this way.
Yeah.
And slanted. And they would fall way out and come down. Now, first I thought, how in the world are they doing it without breaking their leg? Somebody told me, when you hit the slope going down, you are hitting sideways, frontward and down. So you are that way.
There are some trophies and pictures of the ski jump at the Becker County Museum in Detroit Lakes. Thanks for watching the Museum Roadshow, where history repeats itself every 4 hours.
I didn't realize that. I thought my dad retired from teaching in 1938 because he thought the resort he didn't need to supplement his income by teaching band. And so I thought that it was after that he started to get interested in the ski jumping, but it was before that. It was 1932, 1934. That's when I was born in 32, so maybe he wanted to get out of the house and and organize his ski jumping. It sounded like they had a lot of fun. Bob Smalley's the only one that ever talked to me about it, and he said, "Oh, he really got the kids enthused about it." And they would get on that circuit. And, no, in fact, Hank Fisher, who's in town here, he was from Glenwood, and he got into that ski jumping circuit when he was in his college years. But that's the only one that I know of. But they were, my dad and my uncle were great, had a lot of interest in ski jumping. They went to the Olympics in 1956 when they were both, let's see, that'd be 56 and 60 years old, but they went skiing when they went over there too in Kitzbühel, Austria. I got some movies of them going down the hill. But this was downhill skiing, no jumping anymore. My dad had a lot of back problems that he finally got cured, but he thinks it was from landing and on those hard surfaces, and that's how he remembered the ski jumping.